Recruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Science proves your best sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. And now the Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 smart bed is only $9.99, plus special financing, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Woo, it's a scorcher out there, but we've got tips that'll keep you chilling this August. Tip number 1, keep your AC in peak condition. Tip number 2, drink lots of fluids. Tip number 3, go for refreshing top prizes.
Let's put on a show.
What kind of a show is it going to be?
We fire the jokes at you like an automatic weapon of comedy.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios, it's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland. Call now on the Cure Hotline at 615-844-5600. Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Wednesday afternoon to you, and yes, welcome into the McFarland Show. Darren McFarland, that's me. Justin McFarland.
Hello, everybody.
Devlin hanging out with us for the next hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Braves baseball, Game 2, NLDS. Trying to get a game on the Phillies after we were not on the air yesterday.
No.
Early first pitch, 12:07 yesterday. Braves dug themselves a hole, tried to come back, but fell a little bit short, 7-6. So this is a big one. You can't fall 0-2 in this series.
That game didn't end until about 3:50 yesterday afternoon. I was watching the clock.
Yeah, it was close to 4.
Yeah, it was close to 4 o'clock, so close to a 4-hour affair down there. You know, the Braves, what an exciting ninth inning, and I know there's the rest of the game. But that ninth, boy, it had you feeling a little electricity there after that 3-run shot to get within one, and then and get within one with only one out. One out now, so now you got 2 outs to get the other run, and they just couldn't make it happen. I ran out of juice.
Olsen Olsen had the 3-run blast.
Yes.
In the ninth to cut it to 7-6, and like you said, just an out, and you're thinking, okay.
Yeah,
well,
in business here.
Hey, it's happened before. Ask the Astros. Yeah. They did it.
You know, sometimes, my father's one of the biggest baseball fans I've ever known. He's a firm believer that home runs are rally killers. He says, sometimes I'll take a good double versus a home run unless you're in a game-winning situation because you still have an opportunity to keep going. He said when you hit a home run, now you got
everybody exhales.
Now you got to start all over.
Right, everybody exhales.
Now you got to get another guy on base. Now you got to get another situation. You got to wait on more bad pitches. The whole thing. Sometimes, he said sometimes a good base hit, he said just keep that merry-go-round going. That's how you get the crooked numbers up there is the merry-go-round. Home runs,
So 3:35 first pitch today, Braves and Phillies Game 2 NLDS. Braves trying to even the series up. I think the pregame coverage starts about 3:20, Devlin?
Starts about 3:20. We'll be off here about 3:19.
About 3:19 is when we will exit stage left and call it a day.
Precision, 3:19.
I like it.
Precision.
And we will do that, too, because they have to take over.
They do.
At 3:20. Other games yesterday, I just mentioned it. The Astros had the big comeback. They were trailing the Mariners the entire game, and then Alvarez wrecked the day for Seattle with a 3-run walk-off home run to take Game 1. That's a big blow.
It is.
Because I know you have to pick yourself up. They're professionals, but when you have a team on the ropes like that and we're in control and you lose, that's going to be tough to recover.
Especially in these 5-game series like this. It's one thing if you're 7, now you got more time to recover. But these 5-game series, once you're down 0-1, that makes the Game 2 a must-win for whoever's down 0-1. Game 2 is a must-win in those 5-game sets.
How much do you think in this market people are watching? outside of the Braves game, how much do you think they're watching?
Not a lot.
Really?
Because you have to look at the other team. Well, I shouldn't say that because I don't know that. But if you look at the other teams involved, which one of these other teams have national brands?
Dodgers.
The Dodgers do for sure.
Yankees.
Okay.
I mean, the Dodgers have the Nashville connection, right? You've got,
absolutely.
Obviously Mookie Betts. There's a lot of people who root for Mookie Betts. And
Absolutely.
There's some former Vanderbilt players on that roster.
But Seattle and Houston and San Diego, that's not, they don't have a big footprint there. So, the Seattle versus Houston game, I wonder about that one. Yeah. I wonder about the
just would be curious.
Watchability of
like
that.
The Braves is a given.
Yeah.
We know all the Braves games are carried here. We know the following in this market, but I'm just curious, I wonder how much people are watching playoff baseball in this market that's not a Braves game.
But you're asking a key question that we ask, that at least I ask, I should say we, at least I ask every hockey season. Is Nashville a hockey town or are we a Predators town? So in other words, can we watch if Winnipeg is taking on Buffalo? Are we watching that, or are we just really watching when the Predators are involved? And the same thing can go for baseball here. If your team is not involved, and especially if it's in the other league at this point, like the ALDS here, it's not going to impact the Braves no matter who wins that game between Seattle and Houston. So what difference does it make? So are you going to watch that? Well, you really got to love the game to watch that.
Fair enough.
When your team is not impacted. And then after your team is eliminated, then what are you doing? Are you really watching? In New York, the Mets fans, I'm sure, are still watching somewhat. They'll watch just to see what the Yankees are doing. But I don't think they're just going to stop watching baseball because the Mets have dropped out.
No, because it's a baseball market.
Yeah, it's more of a baseball town.
With two teams, two professional baseball teams.
1.3, yes.
Yeah, so that does change. I'm intrigued by your question because I do think it is interesting, and we don't know the numbers. We're just having a conversation, which is called Sports Talk Radio. You have a conversation, which we all do, right? Whether it's sitting at a bar, whether it's sitting at somebody's house, whether it's barbecuing, you just have these conversations, and you do wonder – we are a hockey market, so that helps, right? So you're ingrained into the sport of hockey because you are a hockey market, so that helps. But to your point, when you truly get down to it, last year when the Preds were eliminated and they were swept by the Avs, I mean, I was watching, but I'm not your case study.
You're not your average guy.
I'm not your case study.
Yeah.
How many just Predators fans? And maybe not even diehard, just casual, but they love going. They love the atmosphere. They love the team. It's Nashville. It's fun.
Fang fingers.
Right. But are they going to watch, the Blues and the Wild? I don't know. I think it's why I think it's an interesting question. I do think this not being a baseball market probably hinders what we were just discussing at the beginning, a jump. Like, okay, I mean, did I flip over and watch Padres and Dodgers? Yeah. I mean, of course I was watching, unfortunately, the Yankees win over the Guardians, but did I flip over and watch some of the Padres? Yeah, I did. Again, I'm not a good case study.
Yeah.
One, this is what we do.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I don't know how much a diehard Cardinals fan in this market, a diehard Braves fan in this market, and maybe a Braves fan would be because they're hoping they'll see the winner of that series.
You're more invested. But
I don't know.
I'm a Cubs fan, and, the Cubs season ended pretty early. Cubs season was done around Flag Day this year. And so, I'm checking in. That was June 14th, for those who didn't know when Flag Day was, by the way. I know that's a very obscure holiday there. So, Flag Day, June 14th, middle of June.
I got it because I laughed, so
okay.
I got it.
But you had to think about it, though.
Well, it was a little delayed. I was like, did you just say Flag Day?
But you had to think about it. So, but I would describe myself as a casual baseball fan. Not hardcore, not deep in, but casual. I will watch the game. I understand. I think, on a certain level. The Cubs are out of it, clearly. Am I paying attention? To a degree. Am I going to watch, Houston and Seattle? I think I'm going to find something else to do on that one. And let me know when we get to the ALCS and the NLCS, and then we can get more interested at that point. That's for me, though. That's me.
Why would you be more interested at that point?
Because we're getting down to the final 2 or 4 teams on either side here, and I think that the quality of the play and the intensity of the game is a little bit higher, depending on the teams, especially. If you've got a situation where the Guardians here, they have not won the World Series in a little while. If they're on a little bit of a magical run, that's fun to watch. The domination. Can the Yankees return to their glory days here and finally get another one here? That becomes intriguing. So it depends on if there's a storyline. I'm not seeing the storyline with Seattle. Nothing against Seattle. Nothing against Seattle. I like Seattle. Seattle's a great place. I don't see the intrigue there for me, the casual fan, checking out to see what Seattle is doing.
I only know about their airport. That's as far as I've been.
Yeah.
I sat in their airport for about 16 hours.
I don't even know the name of the Seattle ballpark right now. I don't think it's Safeco anymore.
It's not.
So they changed the name of the park, so I don't even know. I'm sure it's the same park. I'm sure they've changed names since I just don't. But that's how plugged in I am with Seattle Mariners baseball right now. But I'm a casual baseball fan again.
Well, I think a baseball fan, hardcore, may not know the stadium names. They change so quick.
They do change a lot these days. They change quite a bit.
They change a lot. So it'll be Phillies, Braves. Like I said, Devlin said 3:19. We're out of here at 3:19.
Precision.
And we'll see if the Braves can even up that series. It looks like Davante Adams is going to get charged with assault for the shove on Monday night. Raiders falling to the Chiefs.
So what you're getting now is my raw reaction, because I did find out about this. I know it's been out a few hours, but I literally found out about this around 15 minutes ago. And my only thought is, because if you're charging him with, I'm sorry, Darren, you say aggravated assault?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're charging him with aggravated assault, that's a criminal charge. So that's not a civil charge. So you're not looking to cash in.
Misdemeanor assault.
Misdemeanor assault.
Misdemeanor assault.
Well,
there we go. I wanted to be technical here.
In Tennessee, you can still be arrested very much so for misdemeanor assault. I'm not sure what the rules are, where they are there. But do you really want Davante Adams put behind bars or in a holding cell for a few hours for the shove? Is that what you want out of this? Do you want some money out of this? I don't understand what the end goal is here, other than just to say, this isn't right. He can't do that to me, put him under. And by the way, that game was in Kansas City, was it not?
It was.
Davante Adams plays for the Las Vegas Raiders, does he not?
He does.
Which would mean he would need to be extradited from Las Vegas back to Kansas City to face said charges. Is the Kansas City Police Department, or whomever has jurisdiction, going to go through the trouble of getting on the phone and calling out there and doing what needs to be done? And this is routine stuff now. And in the normal, if a bank robber robbed a bank and left town, they wouldn't stop just, he's out of here, there's nothing we can do. Oh, no. They would call the next county. They put out a bolo, be on the lookout. They would find the guy or girl or whomever and bring them back. They would extradite them back here to town. It could take weeks, but they would bring them back. This is routine business. My question is, typically it has to kind of be worth the while a little bit, or, you wonder if the DAs are on the phone going, okay, we're going to the facility there in Las Vegas to pick up Davante Adams? Are the Kansas City police officers going to drive, or are you going to call the U.S. Marshals? Are you going to get additional help there from the authorities in Las Vegas? Yeah, we need Davante Adams. Go get him for us because we got a warrant here. I mean, is that what's happening?
Okay, that's the technical stuff from you.
Sorry.
Let me go. Let me just clear the weeds here and just tell you what's really going on.
Okay.
This man said, this misdemeanor assault is for intentional overact that inflicted bodily injury. This photographer said that he suffered whiplash headache, and a possible minor concussion from the incident. This is about just getting a little scratch. That's what it is. Now, I will say this. I understand both sides because I will also say that do I think while I'm sitting there saying that, did this guy really suffer this stuff? Okay. Was I there? No. Have I seen the footage many times? Yes. Yeah. Have I seen this stuff go on? Which, by the way, you do because you report it. I've seen it in real life, too, because it's happened to us. And the minute you get a letter from an attorney that I won't mention in town, you go, oh, I know what this is about then. This is about just getting some quick cash is what this is about. Yeah. Let's settle. Settlement. And he's a high-profile, high-dollar athlete. And, yeah, he's not going to make millions off of this. But guess what? If he files something and his attorney cuts him a check for $75,000, is it worth it? Just to say I got whiplash, I had a concussion, a headache. Davante Adams shouldn't have done it. I don't believe I don't believe this guy, all this stuff is really going on. I believe he sees it as a little bit of a payday. But Davante Adams also he's got to know better than to do that.
Clearly he does. And I'm sorry, I don't want to drag it too far back, though. But there is a ginormous difference, anybody listening, between criminal charges and civil charges here. And when you're talking about something like, like this could potentially be, a criminal charge, which would involve, again, arrest, where civil stuff doesn't.
But he could also circle back around, and civil's not done. Like, he could do that, right?
Yeah, he can do that, but typically you would go, if you want that, you would go that way first. You would go, I've got a neck ache here, and I need Davante Adams to pay for my medical expenses instead of going the misdemeanor, assault route.
Yeah.
Because, that introduces, a whole nother. Again, though, this is another state, so I'm not sure maybe how everything lines up. No question, Davante Adams shouldn't have pushed the photographer. He apologized for it right away because he knew.
He knew.
He did. That he had no business putting his hand on a photographer. We have both been on NFL sidelines a lot. Temperatures are high.
Especially right after a game like that.
There is a reason why, and I haven't done this in a little while, Darren, you have. They normally give a 10 to 15-minute cool-off period. Yep. You cannot just roll up in the locker room and start talking to people right away.
That's why they don't let you interview on the field anymore. Remember? You used to be able to run right on the field and start talking
to people as they were walking on the field. Done it many times.
Nope.
Yes.
Not anymore. Okay. You do that now, boy, you'll get your hand slapped.
Okay.
They will find you, and they will tell you, no. No.
Well, temperatures are high. But, the athletes, especially a veteran like Davante Adams, this isn't new. He has played many a football game, and been in many a heartbreaking situation. He's just completely lost his cool there for whatever the reason and knew he shouldn't have done it. And now he's got to deal with whatever he has to deal with here on the backside. And if it includes the misdemeanor assault charge, then so be it. But I do hope and feel this will go away here with the check.
And by the way, I really appreciate, I know this is week 2 of our show. I appreciate you saying it's been a while since Cleveland won a World Series. Thank you for being nice about that. It's 1948.
Listen, I'm not here to...
That hurt.
As a Cub fan.
It's been a while.
As a Cub fan,
it's been a while.
Who's on the other side.
1948.
I'm on the other side of glory here. I'm not one to throw shots at people. I really don't. I don't want to throw shots because I know how bad it is.
You could have been harsher, so I appreciate that. Thank you for saying it's been a while. That was very casual.
I'm not into,
Yeah, for all the listeners out there that remember 1948 World Series, that was the last time.
There's no need for that kind of abuse. There's just no need for that. It's okay.
And we should be refreshed. We had yesterday off, so we're in a good mood. We should be refreshed.
There's no need. No need for that kind of verbal violence while talking about the Cleveland baseball team.
Verbal violence.
While talking about the Cleveland professional baseball team.
You know who else should be refreshed?
Who's that?
The Titans after having the bye week. So they're going into a bye week. We're going to catch up with Teresa Walker on the other side from the Associated Press.
Legend.
She covers the Titans. She also covers the Grizzlies. Their season's about ready to start, too. She covers all things
legendary
Tennessee. We'll talk to her next here live on the McFarland Show, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
How about a win? How about a win? How about a win with top prizes? How about a bid for a win and a play for quick bucks? How about a win? About a win with a win and a bid for $1, $2, $5, $10 quick games, the best cash games around. How about a win? About a win with a win and sold at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer.
Try the new instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. They're loaded with top prizes from $50 up to $5,000. Get them before they're gone. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
4, 3, 2.
One lucky Powerball player will ring in the new year with $1 million win. Powerball's New Year's Rockin' Eve VIP experience is back with a chance for you and a guest to score the trip of a lifetime to New York City for New Year's Eve. Win exclusive access to epic events and a chance to be the first Powerball millionaire of 2023. Announced live on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Enter your Powerball tickets at tnviprewards.com by October 30th. The Tennessee Lottery. Please play responsibly.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Tony, how you doing, buddy?
Good afternoon, guys. I tell you what, listening to Zach and Bruno and Ray Dog, it's just awesome. And I just wanted to give a shout out to y'all.
Hey, Tony, I appreciate that, man. You might have just made a promo for us.
I'm the best.
Bruno is the best. Yes, Bruno is the best.
That ruins the promo.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Back here on the McFarland Show, here on this Wednesday afternoon. Darren and Justin here with you. Teresa Walker with us. Associated Press covers all things Tennessee, including the Titans, going into their bye week. A little bit different bye week for them, Teresa. Last year, I think it was like, the week before the season ended. And, it couldn't get here fast enough. They were one of the last teams to get a bye this year. They're in the group with the first teams with a bye. How you doing?
I am good, and I think all of us are better than the Titans, right? No matter even if you have a little something going on. But the fun thing is this: they know what they're doing. I mean, they know how to deal, nurse, string along, get a new guy in on Wednesday, get him ready to start by Sunday. They've been here, done that. They did this last year when they did, used the, NFL high record in a non-strike season, 91 different players, right?
Yep.
So, the story that I've got kind of moving for the weekend, it's a little bit of deja vu. Not that, and trust me, I asked Mike Vrabel about that on Monday, if any of that helps. And I don't think anybody wants to look back at 2021, but let's be honest, that experience is there. at least on that coaching staff, in that locker room. There's only 5 starters who started every game yet this season. They've already used 20 different starters, new starters, on that side of the ball. Last year they used 26 for an entire 17-game season. So, and they've already got 11 players on IR that would be eligible to potentially bring back. The NFL, though, unlike last year they could bring, because of the pandemic, an unlimited number of guys back off of IR. I'm trying to remember the number. They may have brought like 11 guys back or more off, and it ended up, I think it was like 26-ish who ended up on IR for this team last year. This year, the NFL changed the rules in the offseason. You can only bring back 8. So when you bring somebody back off of IR, and trust me, Racy McMath, Elijah Molden, they've now set out 5 games. You have to sit out 4 games this year on IR instead of 3 as last year. So Titans, John Robinson, Mike Vrabel, the front office, they're going to have to, that medical staff, they're going to have to be real picky and choosy. Okay, is this guy really healthy? Will another week work? We do not want this to reoccur. I mean, look at Bud Dupree. He played 12 snaps, hurt a hip, left, didn't play the next game, thought he was okay. He comes back, plays 9 snaps, I think, and recovered a fumble, so he had a big impact against the Raiders, and then left the game, did not play last week last week against Washington. So now he's got the bye. Hopefully that helps get him through, 2 full weeks plus a game week, gets him ready for, the stretch run. But, they've got to do, it's a different challenge this year, even though they've kind of been through this before. So, but guys, after the 0-2 start, they're at least at this bye on top of the AFC South. So at least something good's going for them, right?
Yeah, well, they're 3-2. Yeah, like you said, they're atop the division. And when you look at their numbers, and that's where I was going next, I mean, it's not pretty. I mean, you look at where they stack up offensively, defensively in the league, it's like basically against the run, that's their stat. That's the one they're going to show everybody. The rest, it's the bottom heap of the league, and yet here they sit 3-2.
Exactly. I mean, after and a missed field goal from being 4-1.
Yeah,
that is correct.
That's the thing, and that's the one thing I think that Mike Vrabel, with his experience as a player, that's the thing I think he gets the best, is that these games are decided. I know it drives fans crazy, but hello, look at all the close games that we've seen in the first 5 weeks of the NFL. Monday night is an example. Both teams go for 2-point conversions, Kansas City and then Oakland. Las Vegas. I keep getting those confused. Let's be honest. The Raiders have played in Oakland, L.A., and Vegas. Sometimes it's a little tough to remember where they're at right now. But if they had kicked the field goal, they go to overtime and give themselves yet another chance. And, and Indianapolis showed on Sunday what can happen when you just get it to overtime. So these games are going to be close. You'd love the blowouts. If you get 1 or 2 of them, you're lucky. But, if you remember 1999, if you've been around and been a Titans fan that long, that team made it to a Super Bowl winning a lot of close games. And under Mike Vrabel since 2018, there is nobody better in the NFL than the Titans when it comes to scores, one-score games. Particularly, they lead the league in games decided by 3 or fewer points. That's because, it's part – you ask players, and it's part culture. It's, they kind of been trained how to deal with adversity, find a way to make a play, whether it's last year Jeff Simmons helping Josh Allen slip on his feet, at the goal line. David Long Jr. getting the interception at the goal line on Sunday. Kevin Byard getting a pick in the end zone against the Raiders, and then, Dylan Cole helping break up a 2-point conversion pass. So, that's the thing, and we've seen it on the opposite side too. We just haven't seen it much from the offense this season, But Ryan Tannehill, who he's now had 50 games under his belt, and I think his record's 33-15 as a starter, which is among the top quarterback winning records since he took over in mid-October of 2019. We've seen him put together game-winning drives, and part of that is so many times when you hear next man up, it's a cliche, But, that's what they preach. And I wish I could remember who tweeted it out a week or so ago, that what should be over the Titans locker room is, welcome, you may be starting Sunday. And they have embraced that attitude, and they're ready when their number's called. And that is such a tricky thing to, you can tell a guy that, but to make sure that he's doing the extra work, the homework, the film study, to be ready, paying attention in the meeting room, to be ready when his number's called, that's not easy. And that is something that the Titans have built over there.
You've been to enough Mike Vrabel press conferences. You've probably learned how to read between the lines, and you know how he operates when talking about players.
He speaks Vrabel.
He speaks Vrabel.
She speaks
Well,
Vrabel.
speak Vrabel for us and our listeners. When asked about Caleb Farley's play, talk to us, Coach Vrabel. What did he really mean? Translate. What did he really mean on Monday? We played the clip. What did he mean?
Caleb Farley is needing to pull himself up. It's just, his snaps go up, they go down. During the off season, when you say that we have to clean up some of those things, not get beat, not give up plays over our head for anybody, that means he's not doing well enough. But notice how he finished that. We will keep working on it. Why do you keep working on a Caleb Farley when, maybe, if it was the guy you picked up last week, he'd have been cut already? He is a first-round pick. They have a lot of draft capital invested in them. Draft capital does not mean you're starting on a Sunday. I mean, shoot, Aaron Brewer, look at him. Yeah. He is an undrafted guy, the $2 stake guy, who is starting ahead of, say, a Dylan Radin because, they like him and how he plays better. Draft status does not come into play when it's time to fill out the inactive list on a game day. So, they're playing who can help them win. And right now, Caleb Farley, Elijah Molden gets back. We may not see much of Caleb Farley until he does get some of this fixed and corrected. And, the young man this is where that draft pick is the issue. He had not played a ton of football coming into the NFL, and then he tears the ACL against Buffalo last year. I think he played 3 games all of last year. So his amount of experience every time he steps on a football team or on the field is multiplying with each snap, and they're trying to get him up to speed. He's got the physical tools. It's getting the mental, and he even said this, Malik Willis said this to us early in the offseason. It's getting what you see in the playbook, the game plan, and getting your body to do that. And taking, and relaxing and leaning into the skills that he has. He's got length. He's got that arm span that he can reach out and break up passes, but he's got to be close enough to the receiver so that he can break those up. So, Mike Vrabel, they're not giving up on him, but that was, remember last year when the national media went crazy? It's like, oh, Mike Vrabel's calling out Julio Jones. Well, this was kind of Mike Vrabel saying Caleb Farley's got to get better. And he did it, with the royal we. But the royal we in this point is Caleb Farley.
Teresa, has Taylor Lewan played his last game as a Titan, or has he played his last game in the NFL, or both?
At this point, I don't see him returning to this team. I mean, his pay next year is like, $14.6 million. We've gotten very used to the phrase over the last few years, salary cap casualty. Yeah. When you've been making multi-millions of dollars per year, and I think this year it's 14.8. The only way he would be back is if he agrees to a much reduced contract, and that can be tough for some people. There was a great story I once heard, Warren Moon, the salary cap comes in, they were going to give him a massive signing bonus, right? And instead, his paycheck, the weekly paychecks, and that's how the NFL players get paid is during the season, game checks, is going to be tiny. And it's like, but Warren, look, this check that you're going to get now, if you re-sign and redo this deal now, you're going to get this big check, and then these little checks. And he said no. He didn't want the big check now. And sometimes that, if say John Robinson was to say, you know what, we'll extend you for 2 years, $3 to $4 million. I saw somebody say $7 million a year. No, This is a man, a left tackle, who has had two of his last 3 seasons end early, well before Halloween. So, he's not going to get $7 million a year, at least not from this franchise.
Well, that's the problem, though. That's the problem that's going to happen is they'll do the right thing, but look around the league. Yeah. Somebody will overpay Taylor. Okay, they will overpay him to play for them next year.
Bring in a big name, give their fan base some hope.
Watch the games and see how bad offensive line play is in the league, and somebody's going to overpay him. They just will. They'll be desperate enough to do it. They do it every year.
Will. But Darren, I'll say this. My prediction is that he will be somebody who is signed closer to the start of training camp or at the end, end of April at the earliest. I just don't see a team rushing out to give him money without seeing him healthy first, and he's not going to be able to do that. His injury was late September, so that does give him a little bit of a head start, but it's the same knee.
I can see Indy doing it. Indy's got tons of cash, and they can't protect their quarterback, whoever their quarterback will be next year.
Whoever that's going to be next year, because we don't know what's going on there.
They way overpay for Christian Kirk and set off the total reset of the wide receiver market.
Yep.
So, somebody with more money and need than sense will pay. I just don't see the Titans keeping him. They need money to spend on the younger, healthier guys.
Teresa, can you talk to me about the lack of preseason play and how much they may have to do with whatever we saw from this team as far as second half performances or putting entire games together? The argument has been made that since Ryan Tannehill didn't see any action, since Derrick Henry did not see any action, these guys are really just now getting their game legs together, quote unquote, that we are entering this particular part of the season. You have been around a long time. You know about two-a-days, and that's gone away. Now the camp is very different. Now they don't play in preseason games. The preseason games are there's one less of them than there used to be. How much of that plays a factor into the early games that we see from these teams?
Well, it does play a factor. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, 2 touchdowns in the second half of 5 games combined. I mean, It's almost ridiculous. But they added a 17th game last year. So it's not how you start so much. Let's see how Philadelphia is in December, okay? Yeah. It is how you finish. September and October, you put yourself in positions. Yes, games you've lost, count in the L column no matter what, and you've got to make up that ground. But you have to be in position to finish, and that's November, December. And this team, the road games are front-loaded, right? So, they come back after this bye, they host Indy, and then they go back on the road for 2 more road games before they finally get to spend a little bit more time in Nissan Stadium. So, and watching Mike Vrabel this year, it feels like it's all about making sure this team gets to Sunday, making sure that the guys get to November, December, and the end of the year. I mean, remember that game in New England last year when they had 4 available healthy wide receivers? Yeah. I think Cody Hollister got his first NFL start that game opposite Nick Westbrook-Akine, and it was expected to be Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. Those 2 guys were both on IR at that point. So, and this team already has 11 players on IR as we speak. So, health determines just how competitive you can be. Luckily, they're in the AFC South. They're back atop the AFC South despite that 0-2 start. And when they come back next week, they'll have a chance to sweep the Colts for a second straight year. That's a good thing. So I know that, sometimes you'd like some better style points. The occasional route would be good for everybody's heart. Certainly, I would. My Apple Watch would like to quit reminding me that I'm undergoing stress when I'm trying to write a game story, and I'm not sure who's winning in the final seconds. But it's the NFL. It's why it's so popular. We can't turn away. You used to watch NASCAR for the crashes in the final 10 laps. Well, you watch the NFL to see who's going to pull this out and how are they going to do it, and that's where the Titans specialize, and you got to have your guys available to do that.
Teresa, I want to switch gears very quickly and go to the Grizzlies, and my only question is, what are the expectations for the Grizzlies? What is a successful season? I know it's very early. Obviously, we haven't started yet, But what is a successful season look like for the Memphis Grizzlies at this point? The Western Conference Finals at the very least, maybe beyond. How do you see that?
Well, they managed to have the number 2 record in the NBA last year, got to the Western semifinals, and guys, they pushed the eventual champs to 6 games, with 3 of those without Ja Morant. And Ja, at Media Day this year, he made clear that they had their preseason rankings. He was 9th on that list, or 10th, depending on which list you looked at. And his goal is to be on top at the end of the year if he is able to lift his play to that level. And shoot, him and Des Bain combined last night for 56 points in a preseason game. So yes, this team wants more. They want a championship. They feel like they got close. They could see kind of to the top of the mountain. They got an eye-opening view of just how hard you have to work, not in the season, but in the off-season, to be physically and mentally capable and ready to play deep into May to get to June. And I'll say this. I know Jaren Jackson Jr. is not going to be available when they started off next Wednesday night against the Knicks, which is a national game. Guys, you're going to have a lot of chances to watch the Grizzlies this year on national TV, including Christmas night at Golden State. They're targeting it. Seed may not matter as much. I mean, the West is still ridiculous, but they are definitely targeting going beyond what they did last year, and they want a championship. They've made that very clear.
Wow. Good stuff, Teresa. Appreciate the visit as always. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Teresa Walker, Associated Press. Come back. More of the McFarland Show next.
Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Join today to get started with $150 free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Sign up with the promo code GregP. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. You can combine all of those across a variety of platforms with same-game parlays for a bigger payout. Live betting, you see a trend, something that's going on in a game, you can get updated odds on games that have already started and get you paid your winnings fast. All that on the app that's safe by using the promo code GregP. All that on the app. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Promo code GregP. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You got to be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable. Free bets that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, it's Patton Cook from Run With It. Let me tell you about my friends over at Smiles by Design. Dr. Dwayne Jones and his team focus on providing you with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Smiles by Design are one of the few practices that offer state-of-the-art, needle-free cavity fillings. I started going to Dr. Jones 2 years ago, and he has completely changed my smile. They are located at 105 Threet Industrial Boulevard, Unit 1001 in Smyrna. You can visit their website at drdwaynejones.com for more information, or you can call them at 615-355-1033. Again, their number is 615-355-1033. Or you can search for them on social media at Smiles by Design. So be sure the next time you're looking for dentistry services, give my friends over at Smiles by Design a try. And don't forget to tell them Patton sent you.
Before you know it, the holiday season will be upon us, so it's time to start planning. If you're having a holiday party or event this year, then you should consider the Omni Nashville Hotel. Have a festive holiday party for your company, family, or friends at the most luxurious location in Music City. All your guests will experience the award-winning service from their well-trained, courteous staff at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Rooms that are second to none, and venues that will be the envy of all your guests. For smaller gatherings, reserve the private dining room inside Kitchen Notes. For a fun party atmosphere, consider bar lines. And for high-end corporate entertaining, choose Bob's Steakhouse. You can't go wrong when you book your party at the Omni Nashville Hotel. For more information or inquire about availability, just call 615-782-5333. That's 615-782-5333. The Omni Nashville Hotel, Music City's holiday party destination.
Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Skyscan forecast. Today's going to be sunny to partly cloudy with a stray afternoon shower and thunderstorm, the high 86. Variably cloudy, widespread showers and thunderstorms tonight, ending before daybreak, low 54, sunny Thursday. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio WNSR.
Back here on the McFarland Show here on this Wednesday. Some birdies came into the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio during the break and told us, Darren McFarland, Justin McFarland here, that these birdies could talk.
Yeah.
They said, it looks like the Braves game could possibly
we're reading.
Will not
start
on time.
Reading from the official Atlanta Braves Twitter account.
Will not start due to weather.
Yeah.
And by the way, that weather's supposed to come to us.
We are supposed
supposedly.
to get,
Don't laugh. I know. People are like, rain.
We have not had measurable rain in a month.
I was going to say, it has to have been a month. It has to be.
It's over 30 days now.
Yeah.
Measurable rain in a month. So
we may cut away for 5 or 10 minutes, but we may end up doing a full show after all because it looks like the weather is going to be there first. Or I don't know. Do we have to, I guess, if they've already announced it?
Well, they haven't, and just to be clear, this is from the Atlanta Braves official Twitter account. Today's Braves versus Phillies NLDS Game 2 will not start at 3:35, converting the time for us here, due to weather. Start time is to be determined, and we will pass along updates as far as the start time as soon as it is determined. Again, that is not from some random person. That is from the Atlanta Braves Twitter account, official social media
blue
site
check
there.
Mark. Blue check mark.
Blue check mark.
For real.
Yep.
That's what that means.
Yep.
For real. Genuine.
As genuine as you can get.
Not a fake account.
As genuine as you can get.
It means they've been vetted, and that is them.
Yes, it does. So
game 2, going to be a little bit of a rain
Game
delay.
2 will have to wait a little bit. So, and that's okay. There's plenty to get into. You can give us a call right now on the Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. Again, that's 615-844-5600.
We're supposed to get it around 5, 6 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, that was the window for us
We'll see.
here in Nashville. And they're not expecting anything, tornadic, they don't think. But just...
It's very windy today.
It is.
Very windy.
It is. And, the storm looks, as I take a look at the radar here, the storm looks rather intense there off to our west. Places like Jackson, Tennessee, Paris, heading over towards Clarksville now, seeing a big band of lightning and thunderstorms heading in that direction. So it's looking like rough stuff here, but we'll see where it goes. We are storm veterans here in Middle Tennessee, and I've heard some people say if you've spent 15 to 20 years in the South, you probably have at least a minor in weather. You're pretty close to being able to go take a look and go, I think it's going to rain. And you could be pretty close because we have to keep an eye on the storms. We just have to.
My buddy Chris Domino down there, who is a part of Braves pregame on radio, texted me back and said they are going to start under a rain delay. Said he's going to go meet with some folks in 10 minutes to try to find out an answer on possibly when they'll start.
Okay.
So
we'll see.
We shall see. It'll be a little bit later for that game. I'll tell you what. Let's step away. Let's take our final break. We'll come back and wrap up the first hour. We've also got to do our NFL Top 10.
We got it.
We did it for the first time last week, and that's the only way we could do it the first time because it was our first week. So we're going to do it a second time because this is our second week of doing the McFarland Show. But some movement on our power rankings.
Better
in the
believe
NFL.
it. Better believe it.
And that's why folks love the NFL, because it's constantly changing and evolving, especially when it comes to the rankings on who you think is good and who you don't think is good. So we will do that to begin the second hour of the program. We'll come back, wrap up the first hour next here on the McFarland Show, live here on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Slim's Tender Mac Bowls are back. We start with a 3-cheese blend to make our delicious mac and top it with chopped hand-breaded tenders and Colby Jack cheese. Try the Tender Mac Bowl meal or the Buffalo Tender Mac Bowl meal, both served with Texas toast and a medium drink. But hurry, they're only around for a limited time. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.
It's a Bill King Show.
Johnny Vegas this morning. Again, hey, Bill, is Georgia football going to be any good this year? Asking for a friend. They'll be very good. Georgia has recruited so well that they're better than everybody in the SEC East, even if they lost their roster. Georgia can lose all these players to the NFL draft. Big majority of talent. They're still better trotting out players than everybody else in the SEC East.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
All right, I'm going to hit Justin. I'm not going to blindside him. I don't want to get flagged for it. But I told him, sometimes it's just best to have a conversation on the air.
It can be more genuine that way.
So you don't have time to sit here and think, rethink, and overthink.
So hit me, man.
So I was telling you during the break.
Yeah.
And I've said this for years. People have listened to me. They know this is not the first time I've brought this up. And I get it. I'm spending other people's money, and it's easy for me to say, but who's kidding who? If you own a professional sports team, you have money. That's how it works. Unless you have lied and you've told people you're rich when you're not really rich. It's fake money, or you're in a Ponzi scheme or something like that.
We've had some of all of that in the history of professional sports.
We had something here locally, let's be honest.
I don't know anything about that. Listen, I'm just,
does that name ring a bell?
I'm just, so what you trying to say?
I said I had money, and they found out he didn't have any money. Anyway, I don't understand. I do not understand why teams that are in the market nowadays to build a new stadium, especially in baseball.
Yeah.
Especially. It's the longest season of all the sports.
It is.
We're talking about 81 regular season games.
Mm-hmm. Across 6 months.
Home games.
Yeah.
Then, if you're fortunate enough to be in the playoffs, which they've expanded the playoffs, which means more teams get in the playoffs, you can add to that total. Why they don't make them all it should be league mandated. Look, figure it out. You got money. Yeah. You own we've got large amounts of revenue coming in. Our sport continues to grow. and everybody continues to pad their pockets. You need to build a retractable roof. Like stadiums need to be retractable roofs. Look, Truist Park is a beautiful park. I love it. It's go there every year. It's a beautiful baseball stadium. Nothing wrong with it. But again, why would you take the chance of dealing with rain, which you will have to deal with throughout the course of a season, and just know that when your schedule comes out, those dates and those times, they're going to happen because you have a retractable roof. You don't have to worry and sit and pray and scramble and hope and deal with a 2.5-hour rain delay and come back and 22,000 of your fans have gone home because they gave up. Why wouldn't you just build a retractable roof? And so when the schedule comes out, you know that game's going to happen on that day at that time.
Okay. Nothing wrong with the premise of your question. I understand very clearly what you're saying. Here's the only thing that you're running into here a little bit with that is, who is you? When you say you, why wouldn't you build a retractable roof stadium? Who is you? Who are you talking to?
Whoever built the stadium, city, state, owners, whoever.
So the city,
whoever's responsible for building these new state, like the Minnesota Twins built a beautiful new Target Field.
They did.
It's Minneapolis.
It is.
Has anybody been to Minneapolis? How's their weather? How's the April weather in Minneapolis?
Kind of chilly.
Probably still snowing.
A little chilly.
It's a beautiful ballpark in July.
It is.
And August.
Yeah.
But they play for a long time.
Yeah.
Why would you not build a retractable roof for the Twins?
Detroit.
Neither
team is Chicago. Cleveland.
Philadelphia. The New Yorks.
Neither one of the New York teams.
Cleveland.
And these are places that have built stadiums.
Now, Cleveland has not. Cleveland
recently.
Was 94. Right. The New Yorks just opened up new stadiums.
Yeah.
Mets and Yankees.
Mets and Yankees have opened up. So, again, I think, and this crosses over into my other profession a little bit, when you start getting into the financing for building these things, the who, like, why wouldn't you? The you gets very important here.
I understand.
As we're going through the you right now.
This is TV, Justin.
Here in the city. I'm sorry.
Reporter.
The money is broken up in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
And the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of difference between building a retractable roof stadium and not could be the difference between your city having a franchise and not. So the question is a loaded one. And it's not. There's no easy answer there.
What's a couple $100 million amongst friends?
All
right, we'll come back. Hour number 2 of the McFarland Show. Next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Marina Roy. After OPEC decided to slash global oil production by 2 million barrels a day starting in November, President Biden says there will be, quote, consequences for Saudi Arabia, which runs OPEC. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on board Air Force One, heading to Colorado, did not specify what action the U.S. will take.
There's going to be consultation with our allies. There's going to be consultation with Congress, and decisions will be made in a deliberate way. We want to be very deliberate about this.
Analysts say Russia, an OPEC partner, would benefit from cutbacks in oil production and would help fund the war against Ukraine. The CDC director has given final approval for COVID boosters for children 5 and older. It follows the FDA's emergency authorization for Pfizer's and Moderna's bivalent boosters that target the Omicron subvariants. In Florida, a jury is deliberating whether Parkland High School shooter Nicholas Cruz should get life in prison or receive the death penalty. This is ABC News.
Does your child struggle with reading? There is an answer. Introducing the world's first e-training technology co-developed by award-winning experts to give your child unsurpassed reading control, accuracy, fluency, and comprehension. In just 20 minutes per day, your child can be immersed in the most advanced reading developmental techniques. No longer will you have to be disappointed with other reading programs that produce little results. Discover what thousands of other parents have found to give their children the confidence and precise reading efficiency needed in today's competitive world. Your child can finally be proud to read in front of the class. No more hassles to get your child to read, and no more fighting to do homework assignments. Take advantage of groundbreaking e-training technology that can give your child the ability to succeed in school and in life. Call the USA Reading Clinic now to discuss how your child can begin the journey on the road to success. Call 800-230-3054. 800-230-3054. That's 800-230-3054.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Let's put on a show.
What kind of a show is it going to be?
We fire the jokes at you like an automatic weapon of comedy.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios. Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland. Call now on the Cure Hotline at 615-844-5600. Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Hour number 2 here on this Wednesday afternoon, McFarland Show. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. Our phone lines are wide open. We're wide open because we thought here very soon we're going to be kicking things down to Atlanta and let them get going with Braves, Phillies. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. They are definitely going to start on a delay. And how long that delay is going to be, we're not sure, but there looks like the delay is going to be enough for us to probably do our entire show. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, they tweeted out a few moments ago, the Atlanta Braves did, that today's Game 2 of the NLDS will not start at 3:35 because of weather, and the start time is to be determined. And that was the last thing we heard from the Braves, and that was sent out at around an hour and a half ago. So they are still working over there trying to find out exactly when they can play a little baseball. But the storm front looking a little rough off into the west for us here locally. Some of the places around town are starting to see some of that thunder and lightning move into the area here. So just heads up, weather aware. Just know. Yeah.
Maybe in the next 2-3 hours, we could have some bad weather.
We could, see some rough stuff here in the mid-state. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. Let's go to our Cure Hotline. Tony in Nolensville has been standing by. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys.
How you doing?
And glad you're going to get your full hour in.
Yeah.
So I hope I can help it go by a little quicker.
Yeah, let's do it.
Last night, guys, this is really crazy. I don't know what you'd call it. But sitting here watching baseball, and we all know crazy things happen in baseball, but I'm sitting at home watching the Dodgers and Padres. And I get to thinking about who was the guy that was in the background behind home plate, white brim cap, cigar, always had the speed gun, radar gun. And can you believe, as I start looking it up, I Google him, they start talking about that same guy at the game. I thought, how crazy was that?
And who was
his name? I know y'all remember the visual of his name was Mike Brito, and he was a long, long time scout with the Dodgers. 40-something years. He passed away earlier this year, I think at 87 years old.
Mercy.
And he was the scout that was most famous for finding Fernando Valenzuela.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Sounds like they made the movie Clint Eastwood was the old scout after that guy. That's what it sounds like. You've seen that movie.
Exactly. And but I got to think about that and went on to read about it. It was really, and he actually discovered somebody else before Fernando, but he was. It was really a neat story. And if you want to read something interesting, read it. Look him up and read about him. But his name was Mike Brito, and I thought that was rather interesting.
Well, if you scouted for almost 5 decades, you found more than just Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah, probably found a few guys.
You probably found
a few guys.
Some huge names, yeah.
But he was most known for that.
Yeah.
But guys, when did or Mr. and Mr. McFarland, I'll say it that way, when did the phrase years ago being used of big plays change to exploding plays?
Well,
I mean, all these coaches now use exploding
James
plays
Franklin
now,
was
as opposed
probably
to
the first one I remember that did it every week at his press conference, and I was like, he would we had 4 explosive plays, and I was just like, what? That was the first time I remember it, Tony. I'm just trying to be honest. James Franklin used to mention explosive plays every week at his press conference. Which used to drive, this is for Justin, it used to drive Dan Phillips from Fox 17 crazy that he would do that.
Explosive, I remember during the Jeff Fisher years, Jeff would always talk about, Coach Fisher would talk about somebody needs to make a play, or we didn't make enough plays. He never put an adjective with it. It was just always somebody make a play, and everybody kind of understood what the a play meant. It meant a difference-making type of play. There was no adjective needed.
That's what I grew up on playing. Is somebody, my coaches, Coach Kuchar at Overton and Coach Donnelly at Austin Peay would say, somebody make a play.
Make a play.
You know. And now you hear all these other different phrases and stuff. And I guess, Darren, that just goes along with the changing of the times and everything else. And one other thing I was going to talk to you guys.
Well, real quick, Tony, before you transition on, let me just say this. What's interesting, along those lines, and I want both of you to weigh in on this.
Okay.
I think the whole analytics scene, and now especially in football with the 2-point going for it, and so I think now the question is, how do you feel about it? Because it seems like I think coaches, I don't know if they like it or they don't like it. I want to say they like it because they can now say, well, that's what the analytics said, right? Where before, if you went for it, you didn't get it. Why'd you go for 2 with 4.5 minutes to go? Well, I just wanted to, and they're like, you're an idiot. Now they go, hey, well, my analytics team said go for it. They said that the percentages say go for it.
The math works out.
Right. How many times have we been – go ahead, Justin. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying the math, they have a chart. Some of them do. They have a chart. They have an actual equation. Some of them do before they plug this in to figure out whether or not they should go for 2 or not. So it's not like a gut feeling. It is literally a mathematical equation to figure out if we should go for 2 based on the score of the game, time left, and all these other things that they plug into it.
Y'all remember in the movie, Remember the Titans, where the coach comes to Coach Yost's house on a Sunday, and they had a math teacher to break down the opposing team's tendencies?
Yes.
Y'all remember that?
Yes, I do remember that, yes.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of it is, and it is something. And sitting in the stands, we've all been a fan at a game. All of a sudden, the team hadn't done something for 3 quarters. Then in the 4th quarter, they start moving the ball pretty effectively down the field, and everybody starts saying, well, why wasn't you doing that, as you said, Darren, earlier? Where's that been now? Why is it showing up now? So it's really crazy. And one last thing, guys, I was going to get off here after this and let y'all discuss it, and I'll listen off air. On attendance, and I was thinking about this the other night, how many fans do y'all think? Now, we've got all these fans that are here, all these people that have moved to Nashville and surrounding areas here in the last 10 years. How many of those fans attend Titans games, turn their jerseys inside out when they're fans where they moved from come to play?
It's an interesting question. It's a really interesting question.
When the Red Wings used to come here to play the Predators,
well, they didn't.
See a lot of the Predator fans, they'd turn their jerseys inside out.
Or
the
they
Predator
just
fans, they'd all of a sudden become Red Wing fans.
Or they would just
just
leave their
wonder
Preds
how
jersey.
many fans are attending Titans games and turning their jerseys inside out and becoming the opposing team's fans? I'm going to let y'all discuss that.
Yeah.
Guys, great show. Good talking to you.
Thank you, Tony. That's
a loaded question there.
Right there.
Loaded question, Tony. But the good news is you're talking to two very capable people, so we can easily get into that if you would like here, Mr. McFarland on the other side.
I think that if they've moved here, one, how long have they been here? That's one thing, right?
Yeah.
How long have they been here? Have they been here since, did they move here like me and on January 1st, 1998, which happened to be what? The start of two professional sports franchises in this market. So now I've, lived here this whole time with those teams. Or did you come with the boom, right? 5 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Then that to me probably says, look, you may root for the team, like, hey, all my colleagues that I work with, my friends, my neighbors, they're all root for the Titans. But, that's great. And I want them to do good, but I'm a fill-in-the-blank fan. And there's no conversion. I think they're like, hey, I'm rooting for them. I live here now. My friends root. But I'm still a fill-in-the-blank fan. I don't think they've converted over.
I think there was a massive conversion during the Super Bowl run 20 years ago. Even a lot of fans, and for those of you who were not in Nashville pre-Tennessee Titans, everybody in town prior to the Titans, if you were an NFL fan at all, which, that was questionable because this was a college football town. Still is, if you scratch the paint enough, a college football town. Everybody was a Cowboys fan or a Steelers fan.
Yep.
Why was that? Well, because those are the two legacy
television.
teams. Yep. They were on television all the time. On Monday Night Football, they won Super Bowls during the playoffs during their formative years. So now the Titans are here. You got allegiance to a team that you probably have never seen in person. All of a sudden, you have a football team in your backyard. And, hey, they're good. Look at them go. They went all the way to the Super Bowl. This is insanity. I'm converting. I have a home. Nashville's my home. These are my people. I'm taking them on. Massive conversion during those years. Nissan Stadium or Adelphia Coliseum was a madhouse. And Darren, I know you were there. I was there as well. That place rocked. Titans blue through and through from the floor to the rafters. If you could have sat people on the lights, if they had allowed it, they would have been up there. They could have sat people on the Batman building watching down like a rooftop in Chicago. They would have allowed that. A lot of that went away when the team fell on hard times. And so now we started to enter into this next phase of Nashville, which was a tourist phase, which is what the city originally wanted, by the way. If you talk to former mayor, former Governor Bredesen, bringing the team here to begin with, it was to make sure the city was put on a brand new level of exposure. That's why they were here. That was a big draw. That is why they spent millions of dollars building the stadium to begin with. That's why the state chipped in along with the city to get that done. All right, all that away. Once it became a tourist destination, then it tested the mettle to see exactly how dedicated are you Titans fans to this. Okay? We got people coming in from Oakland. You got the Raiders fans, the Steelers fans, the Giants fans. And guess what? All of those cold weather cities, New England, Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, you don't think they want to spend a few hours in Nashville winter? If you think their winters are cold here, try it up there. Those people love coming down here because the tickets are cheaper than what they're going to pay. It is significantly cheaper.
They're looking to get out of town
see their team here.
Sure.
And they can wrap a whole vacation around it, which means the local fans, how much does it mean to you? How badly do you want to go see the Titans?
Well,
do you
I
want
can
to go
answer
see the
that
Titans
question.
this bad?
I've got buddies that have lower bowl tickets and have since day one. And whenever those fan bases will pay triple the face value, He sells.
They give him up.
He sells.
That much is clear.
And he doesn't even, and he's diehard.
Sure.
He's diehard. But he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care what you think about it. It's his money. He's like, I'm the one who's invested thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every year since day one.
Yep.
I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
I will get back my money. And so, in other words, he starts breaking it down. I just paid for half of a season.
Yes.
Or I just paid for, and he's got it all worked out. Like 2 games he'll give up.
Sure.
And he's like, that's my season.
Yeah.
I just had my season paid for by 2 fan bases.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to do it.
So to Tony's point, it's not that they turn their jerseys inside out. They're like Darren's friend. They're just not going. They're staying at home. They're going to cheer for the team at the house and watching it on their television.
And get their season paid for.
Exactly.
By an opposing fan
They
base.
don't see it as big of a deal to actually go and see the team in person. They've been plenty of times, and they don't see the value in actually going versus somebody's going to give you, I don't know, $400 or $500. Because here's the other thing about this, about people in Nashville and coming to these games. We go, I can't believe people would spend that much money on this, that in Nashville. Well, that's because you're thinking of it in your regular, ordinary, everyday mind. If you go on vacation, how many people overspend when they go on vacation? How many people buy something, out of the box when they're on vacation? A lot of people do because they're on vacation. This is not an everyday thing. This is a one-time thing because I'm on vacation. So you're talking about vacation spending for a lot of folks, which is through the nose, making this sacrifice to come down here. They're gonna buy. They're going to buy every time. So the fans have made a decision long ago that they are going to give up these tickets to go to not go to these football games.
For the fan bases that will pay high dollar to come in. Now, the one that was perplexing to me was last year. I told you, I already told the story. I sat in the stands for the first time.
Yeah.
On that Thursday night game against the 49ers. I took my son and I went with the father-in-law. And there were tons of 49ers fans.
Absolutely.
Justin, there were thousands.
Absolutely.
Did they come from San Fran?
No, but they're a national fan base.
Did they live here?
They're Joe Montana, Steve Young.
Like they had to live
Jerry
here,
Rice.
right? It's a Thursday night game.
Absolutely.
So are we going to step, Devlin, are we stepping away? Okay. So I guess we're going to, Eric, by the way, I want Eric's, he's got an answer. He's a Cowboys and a Titans fan. Like, he can answer this, but I think we need to step away for what, about 10 minutes?
Yeah, we're going to head to Atlanta, get an update on that rain delay, and then we'll come back to
7, 8, 10 minutes. We're going
Eric,
to step
hang with
away,
us, man.
And then we
We'll
will come back and take it to 4 o'clock. So we'll come back, get a little rain delay update next here on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
This is exclusive coverage of the Atlanta Braves on WPDQ, Drakesboro, WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
The National League East champion Braves are back in the postseason and ready to make another run at the crown.
First pitch to Acuna. He hits one to right. That's headed back to the chop house. Back at the wall. Guthrie gives up, and a thunderous blast by Ronald Acuna, and the Braves have the lead.
Now their road back to the World Series is paved with huge National League rivals. Few more familiar than Bryce Harper and the division rival Philadelphia Phillies.
3-2 hit well to left field. This one's going to push back towards the wall. That's out of sight.
This is the National League Division Series. It's the Braves and the Phillies for a trip to the NLCS. Atlanta Braves Playoff Baseball on the Braves Radio Network is brought to you by the original Louisiana brand hot sauce, the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Your local Ford dealers, proud partner of your Atlanta Braves. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Xfinity, supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet only from Xfinity. Peachtree Orthopedics, offering same-day, evening, and Saturday appointments and specialists for every body part. Healing Atlanta and you for almost 70 years. Georgia Power, proud partner of your world champions. Your local Hyundai dealer, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers. When the Braves score, you score at Express Oil. Cleanwell Services, Cleanwell Pressure Wash Truist Park, and the Braves won the World Series. See what our commercial pressure washing and routine cleaning can do for you at cleanwellsafe.com. Arrow Exterminators, make the call right and protect your home or business from pests by calling 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com. Yanmar Tractors and Engines, proud partners of the Atlanta Braves. Attorney Ken Nugent, one call, that's all. Tonight, it's a huge Game 2 of the NLDS as the Braves take on Bryce Harper and the Phillies, live from Truist Park in Atlanta. This is Atlanta Braves Playoff Baseball on the Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Atlanta Braves Baseball. This evening from Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Eventually, it'll be Game 2 of the National League Division Series between the Braves and the Phillies. Phillies took Game 1 yesterday, and once we get Game 2 going, it'll be Kyle Wright versus Zach Wheeler. Great to have you with us alongside Joe Simpson and our producer-engineer Jonathan Chadwick. Ben Ingram here with you at the ballpark. And Joe, for about the last three and a half hours, the tarp has been on the field. Rain is coming down, and as of now, we do not know when Game 2 will begin.
Yeah, it's very disappointing for the fans who have set aside time for these postseason games, invested good money for these tickets, to not know, what the outcome's going to be. There was one thought that if there is a rain out, that it would be played tomorrow, starting approximately 1 o'clock. Well, fans don't plan on that. They don't plan on the rain out, and maybe they can't get off work or can't stay another night in a hotel to stay around for those things. So they're trying their best to get this game in tonight. We just don't know yet.
Well, everything we're hearing, it looks like there could be a window around 6:30. Not sure how long that would last. That's our hope, is that maybe around that time that would take place. And if that's the case, at least if nothing else, we'd get our night game that we wanted at some point.
That's true. That's true. And, of course, neither manager wants to send their starting pitcher down to the bullpen to warm up, not knowing if they're going to pitch, and burn those guys, maybe even start the game and pitch an inning and burn those guys. They do not want to do that. They want to make sure that if we're going to start the game, we'll be able to finish it.
Well, no, obviously this is supposed to be Game 2 tomorrow, a travel day to Philadelphia, and then Game 3 on Friday. And hopefully we can get this ball game in. You mentioned the starting pitchers. Does this change anything at all for these starting pitchers going later in the evening and not really knowing exactly when the ball game is going to begin?
Well, it depends on how much they knew about the forecast last night and what their normal routine would be for sleep, for pregame meals, all those things for what was going to be a 4:30 start. So if it's postponed by 2 hours, maybe it won't be that big a deal. It's just finding something to do for about 2 hours that you hadn't planned on.
That's exactly right. And I know more than anything, these Braves hitters, they're ready to play ball. They want to get back out there. They finished strong yesterday, couldn't come back and win the ball game. But don't you know, they want to come out blazing, give Kyle Wright an early lead, and the longer this rain sticks around, the further we have to wait on all that.
Well, it makes you wonder, Ben, if that 5-day layoff had something to do with the slow start of the offense. It was like the fifth inning when everybody kind of snapped to and started doing some things, and they did make it close at the end. But it makes you just wonder. You just have to speculate. Maybe the 5 days off did create kind of a slow start.
Yeah, well, one thing's for certain. We're ready for this rain to get out of here so we can play some baseball this evening, Braves and the Phillies. One thing we do know are the starting lineups. And when we come back, Joe will introduce you to the starting 9 for both teams. And then eventually we'll have baseball. And once we know exactly when first pitch will be, we'll be letting you know down the network here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network. Braves and Phillies coming up eventually for Game 2 of the NLDS here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Hey guys, it's Zach. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your bet doesn't win. Just sign up with our promo code TAS. There's so many great deals. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. And you get paid your winnings fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code TAS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. In the state of Tennessee, you got to be 21 and up and present in Tennessee. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the TN Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now on the Cure Hotline at 615-844-5600.
Alrighty then.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
All right, we made it official, or at least Joe Simpson crew made it official.
Yeah.
That they are under a rain delay, and they don't know when it's going to start.
They don't. And, and listen, for Darren and I are professional broadcasters, listen, it's a tough deal, okay? When you don't know, when you're at the mercy of Mother Nature as far as when your deal can get started, you're just along for the ride like everybody else. So those guys at the Braves Radio Network, I'm sure they are doing the very best they can while waiting for this game to get started, but they are dealing with, very limited information. So we'll let you know as soon as we know.
All right, so we've got someone on our Cure Hotline.
All right.
Who I believe, if this is the Eric that I think it is, he is proclaimed, he's put it out there the whole time. He's diehard Titans.
Okay.
Diehard Cowboys.
All right.
Now, there's a lot of rabbit holes you can go down with that. Like, how can you have two favorite teams, right?
Very easily.
So but that's not the purpose. Like, Tony from Nolansville called in and basically wanted to know, like, how does this work, like, for the people that have moved here, the boom? How does it work when they came with an existing team that they liked or loved, and now they're here and they're trying to root for the place. They live here now. This is their new home, and they're rooting for the Titans. So how does that work? Do they root for them all year round until they play that team? Is that team in their division? Is it in their conference? How does that work? If this is the Eric I think it is, he has been diehard Cowboys, diehard Titans. So you should ask, well, how does that work when the Titans and Cowboys play? Because they have played over the years.
And will play this year. Eric, living that double life. Eric, what can you tell us about living that double life out there, man?
Well, here's the thing, guys. I grew up a Cowboys fan, so I've been a Cowboys fan since the mid-'70s. So I remember the days of Tom Landry, Roger Staubach, Ed Too Tall Jones, who should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
He should.
TSU alum?
He should.
Yeah. Tony Dorsett, Randy White, Harvey Martin, all those guys. And, of course, in the 90s, of course, I cheered for them, stuff like that. And I've rooted for them more than 20 years. I will never, ever boo them because I know a lot of the Cowboys' history and factoids and all that type of stuff, so it's tough for me to cheer against them. I'm generally basing on this, the records of the team. If the Titans are having a better season, I pull for them. If the Cowboys are having a better season, I pull for them. So that's kind of how I've kind of termed it. So that's going to be tough for me this year, but I will say this, guys. I generally would not sell my ticket to the games unless I was just desperate, but I know a lot of Titans fans will probably sell tickets to Cowboys fans because I believe there are also a lot of Cowboys fans here that probably pull for the Titans.
Yes.
They will sell their tickets for like Christmas money or a trip out of town or just whatever for Christmas presents. So we'll definitely see a lot of Cowboys fans here because a lot of people want to go there. That's the last home game. Also during the Christmas holidays. I've got relatives who, even though they pull for the Titans and stuff, but also they grew up Cowboys fans. So that's one of those, but just like you've got the same thing for like Steelers fans, and fans of other teams and stuff like that, Green Bay and all that type of stuff. So you got that all over.
Okay, when they meet this year, what if they're both good or they were both bad? They're both not going to be bad. So what if they're both good and right in the thick of things? Who are you rooting for? You can't be neutral, right?
Yeah. I would say this. If Dallas has already clinched the playoff spot, then I'm probably going to root for the Titans if they're needed to get into the playoffs, and it would be probably vice versa, so it would just depend on who's in the playoffs, because by that time, you're not going to have all the berths clinched, but you're pretty much going to know whether or not one or both of these teams is in or out of the playoffs if they need to win badly, because I think, they've both got one more game after that, so that's kind of
I was going to say, that's a late season game. That's right up against it when they're going to play.
Yeah. No, that's correct. But guys, a couple of other things I was going to talk about, and then I'll get off.
Sure.
First of all, one of the things that Tony kind of mentioned a little bit too is about analytics. One of the things is, I have a lot of respect, but a lot of times analytics drives me nuts, and sometimes I think we rely on analytics too much. I know Brandon stated it does, because that's what I was going to talk about. The fact is, he's not careful. One of these times it might get him fired or something like that, because people want to use the excuse analytics. To me, it seems like a lot of times with analytics, sometimes it's a gut call, and that's fine, but a lot of times I think we don't use common sense for the situation. I'm wondering, maybe we would have still gone for it if it had been playing like maybe a Kansas City or Patrick Mahomes or Buffalo and a Josh Allen, but I would have think you would punt the ball, especially if the team had no timeouts and you only needed 10 yards for a field goal. And I would think that if it was Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, you would still punt the ball away, although we've seen Patrick Mahomes get the ball down the field in 13 seconds. I mean, he lucked out that he missed the field goal, but it's just stuff like that I just don't get with the whole thing of just, the analytics and all that type of stuff, because that's one of the things that just really drives me nuts.
All right, Eric, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Guys, good talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. Y'all take care.
All right. I don't understand Josh McDaniels saying, hey, the number said we should go for it. For 2 with 4.5 minutes to go. 4.5 minutes.
That's because
not
you don't understand the
41
mathematical
seconds.
equation.
Not 41 seconds. 4.5 minutes. I get it. Patrick Mahomes did it in 13 seconds. He ended Buffalo's, They thought it was over, right? Like, how could they get in field goal range? What was it, 13 seconds in the playoff game?
I think so.
And he was able 4.5 minutes. Why not kick the extra point?
Okay.
And take your chances.
What if you look at it like this?
Because here's the thing, real quick.
Sure.
You get it. Okay, great. You get it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're up 1 with 4.5 minutes to go, and it's Patrick Mahomes. So what have you really accomplished?
Well, you've accomplished that if they can't pull it together, you win the game is what you accomplished.
Right. For 4.5 minutes, you trust that you could hold Kansas City to nothing? I mean, I wouldn't trust it.
I mean, okay. It's a high risk, high reward kind of situation here. And there's 2 ways of thinking about it. Yes, you could, it used to drive me crazy sometimes as, just looking at situations is when you decide to punt the ball to legends on the other side of the field and say, well, give it forget about going for 2. Let's say it's 4th and 2, 4th and 3. I've seen Mike Tomlin do this plenty. If it's 4th and 2, 4th and 3 in the middle of the field there, between the 40 somewhere, and he's got an option of either going for it or punting the ball back to future Hall of Famer on the other side, take your pick, he'll decide, you know what? I'm not even giving him a chance to go James Bond on me and escape out of this. Forget all of that. I'm going for this 2 yards. I'm going to get this 2. And he's going to be on the sideline, and we're not going to have to worry about it. And, yes, it's risky.
Didn't Brian Kelly do it before the half? And I said it before. I said, this is a horrible decision. They were like on the 45.
It goes either way.
And it burned him.
Listen, it goes either way on some of these things. But sometimes some of those guys, and we've seen them, Peyton Manning, I don't want to give Peyton Manning the football because I think he's going to torch me anyway. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to give him the football. The safest place for him to be for me and my team is not backed up on the 5. It's backed up on the sideline. Forget all of that. I want to run this clock, and I want to control my own destiny. And when he's on the field, I don't get to control my own destiny. I'm at his mercy then. I don't think so. It is a tough decision to make, but it's easier at times If you feel like he's going to go 95 yards, then he was going to go 47 yards anyway. Forget it. Let's take our chances and see if we can get this first down or get this conversion that completely knocks him out of the equation. Because I think that's the goal. The goal is to make it as difficult as possible for the other team to do what they need to do. And if you back them up on the 5, we saw Carson Wentz and the Washington Commanders go, 95 yards or something like that in 4.5 minutes, and they were one pass away, and couldn't get it done.
2-yard pass away.
2-yard pass away.
Yeah.
And couldn't get it in. Not everybody's going to be Carson Wentz. Some people are going to want the knockout blow and making sure that, I'm not even going to give you the chance to have your Super Bowl memory moment on me up here right now. Forget all of that. It is a tough deal, but I do understand, and I know why a lot of people get upset. I get it. Listen, Mike Vrabel here in town, the Cincinnati game last year in the playoffs, going for 2. He didn't get it. If they had kicked the extra point, the Titans at the end of that ball game wouldn't have been playing. They would have been playing to run out the clock, not playing for points, and that's very different. He went for 2. He didn't make it. He had the best running back in football. Couldn't get the yard because he had the false start. Mm-hmm. He couldn't get the 1 yard.
Went for 2 in London against the Chargers.
Went for 2 in London. Didn't work out. Listen, it's high risk, high reward. It's high risk, high reward.
But I think they like it today because back then, when asked the question, why on God's green earth did you do that? They come up with a reason and everybody screams, you're an idiot. Because you're a genius if it works, you're an idiot if it fails. But today, these coaches get to go, hey, well, my analytics department, they told me we got
the analytics.
66,
listen, they
69%, go for it.
They know it's still their responsibility one way or the other, and either they were going to get torched for going for it or they possibly were going to get torched when the other team drove the length of the field and did what they were going to do anyway. It's a high-risk, high-reward situation, and, you live by the sword and you die by the sword.
Come back. Let's do our NFL top 10 rankings going into week 6?
Think so.
Of the NFL season. How much did our rankings change from the first installment last week? We'll tell you all about it on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show live here on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Woo, it's a scorcher out there, but we've got tips that'll keep you chilling this August. Tip number 1, keep your AC in peak condition. Tip number 2, drink lots of fluids. Tip number 3, go for refreshing top prizes up to a cool $1 million by playing all new August Instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. All of these exhilarating games can lead to cold, hard cash. So head to the shade of your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer and enjoy some game-changing fun today.
Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Please play responsibly.
From scholarship and grant programs to providing students with the qualifications and certifications they need to start their professional careers, the Tennessee Lottery has awarded more than $6.5 billion in funding to education programs, and we're proud to play our part. See for yourself how all of the fun of the Tennessee Lottery goes to supporting someone's future and a brighter tomorrow at tnlottery.com.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, this message is for you. Congress has passed $80 billion in funding to more than double the size of the IRS. 87,000 new IRS employees means more audits, collections, and penalties. This will make the IRS larger than the Pentagon, State Department, FBI, and Border Control combined. Now is the time to call Civic Tax Relief.
I owe the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Their tax resolution specialists can stop the IRS from taking money out of your paycheck.
With Civic Tax Relief, they were able to save me upwards of $80,000 that I would have had to pay.
For your free tax relief information, call now. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
800-841-0908.
Greg Pogue back once again to tell you about Bongo Java, Nashville's oldest and most celebrated coffee company, now also located in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Reward yourself for surviving moving Nashville traffic with fresh, locally roasted coffee, classic handcrafted espresso drinks, and fresh baked goods all day long. And free Wi-Fi, so you don't have to work from home. Number one in customer service. You made it through the traffic. Reward yourself with a perfect pick-me-up at Bongo Java. Fresh coffee, delicious treats, great atmosphere. Open 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. daily. Bongo Java at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join Coach Bubba Spears and me for the Mid-State Checkdown High School Game of the Week Friday night with a region showdown between the Pearl Cone Firebirds and the Greenbrier Bobcats. It's a full evening of high school football on Nashville Sports Radio starting at 6:15 with Murphy's matchup, followed by the pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. And then after the game, it's the scoreboard show with Bruno Reagan, Ray Dosky, and Devlin McKenzie. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, WNSR.com, and the station app. That's Pearl Cone and Greenbrier right here Friday night on Nashville Sports Radio.
Back here on the McFarland Show, Braves Phillies in a rain delay. Not sure when they're going to get started for Game 2 down in Atlanta. So we'll just continue to keep you posted here on WNSR. Darren McFarland, Justin McFarland here with you every day from 2 until 4 p.m. Last week we had our NFL Top 10 rankings.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to do that again this week. We'll work on trying to jazz this up. Like Devlin is being raised off this week, and we'll try to come up with some like NFL theme music, to jazz it up and make it cool. But we don't have that this week. We're working on it.
It's okay.
All right, let's start at the top and work our way down.
Starting with number one,
because as we said last week, it gets really dicey. I think it's a little bit top heavy right now in our opinions, and then after that, it's to each his own. Whoever you talk to, you could have a variety of teams in or out and in completely different places. So with that being said, I had Buffalo last week, Justin. They smoked Pittsburgh.
They did.
Nothing's changed. It was a blowout. 38-3. Why on God's green earth would I take Buffalo off number one after blowing out the Steelers? And by the way, my prediction, when Tony asked for predictions, I said, this does not look like a Mike Tomlin year. It doesn't look like that stat is going to stay intact.
No.
And my surprise story is the Steelers are going to finish below 500. And it looks pretty good, right? So I'm going Buffalo at 1.
Buffalo at number 1 for you.
You had a different number 1.
I had a different number 1, and I'm sticking with my different number 1, and those are the Kansas City Miracle Chiefs, who were able to hold on against Oakland. And I know that they held on to win a very tight division game that had wide receivers from the other team pushing cameramen. However, I am a big believer in Patrick Mahomes until somebody proves me otherwise, which has happened. But the Kansas City Chiefs are remaining my number 1 team for now.
Really?
Really?
Even with a squeaker win over the Raiders at home on Monday Night Football.
Was it? I'm sorry. Did they lose the game? They didn't lose, right? They won the game?
They could have lost.
They won. Oh, coulda, shoulda, woulda, what?
Was it dominating?
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, what?
Was it dominating?
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you that. Okay, you're sticking with KC. All right. I had Kansas City 2 last week. And unlike through your lens, my lens said, that really wasn't that impressive.
Yeah.
I'm going to slide them back just a skosh.
Just a little bit.
Just a skosh.
So the new number 2.
Philadelphia.
Hey,
look, I'm still not completely sold. I had them 3 last week. I'm going to bump them up to 2. That stat that I threw out on Monday's show, it's the NFL, folks. And when you haven't trailed in the second half through 5 games in the NFL,
doing something right.
I have to be impressed.
Doing something right.
So I'm bumping them up to 2. That was a nice win in Arizona. You know my pick last week. I told all the people out there that like to dab a little bit, look, let me just tell you a lock. My lock is take Arizona in the points, +5. They covered. But they did win.
No.
Philadelphia's 5-0. I'm bumping Philadelphia to 2.
I had Philadelphia at number 2 last week. They shall remain at number 2. Overall on my list, going 5-0, the only undefeated team in football right now. But how long is he going to stay that way? Only time will tell. But for right now, it's been very impressive what the Eagles have been able to do so far. With just the addition of a couple of pieces here and there, they've been able to put together a very nice run. The Eagles remain number 2 on my list. Moving to number 3.
Okay, I just told you I I slid Kansas City back. I had them 2 last week. I'm going to slide them back, like I said, just a skosh to 3. So my top 3 stays intact, just a little bit of a shuffle. This week it's going to be Buffalo, Philadelphia, Kansas City. Last week it was Buffalo, Kansas City, Philadelphia.
My number 3 is the Buffalo Bills. They were number 3 last week. They will remain at number 3. I am respecting the fact that Philadelphia has not lost a football game, and the Buffalo Bills have. That is about it. That I have to say as far as why Philadelphia is number 2 and Buffalo is number 3 on my particular list. Clearly, the Buffalo Bills are very impressive.
All right. Number 4 last week. A little bit of a controversy.
Okay.
A little bit had some heads turning. Going a little side stare maybe from my co-host. But I'm going with the Ravens. I had the Ravens 4 last week. They beat the Bengals. And I thought long and hard about a possible, just a little pushback, just a little bit, just a skosh, just down, just a little. But I'm like, they beat the Bengals. Bengals are good. They are.
Yeah, okay.
I still think they're a good team. I know their record doesn't reflect. I still think the Bengals are going to be fine. I do. I think.
It is early.
I think,
it's
Justin.
early.
I think.
Fair enough. It's
so
early.
They beat the Bengals. Look at their losses. Like, they have lost everything. Everything is a field goal or less.
Yeah.
They played on a razor's edge. I'm going to be stubborn on the Ravens, and I'm going to keep them at 4.
My number 4 team is a bit of a shocker, Darren. Brace yourself. You ready?
Okay.
It's the Minnesota Vikings.
Who did you have 4 last week?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have your list?
I have to get the other list from last week.
I'm sorry. I didn't do it either.
It's okay. It's okay. The Minnesota Vikings are number 4 on my list. And the reason for that is simple. They are 4-1 in their division there. On top of the old, as Chris Berman would say, the NFC North division, to make a hockey reference, but in the NFC North there. And the reason why the Minnesota Vikings are number 4 for me, their only loss of the season to the 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles. They've beaten everybody else. The Packers, the Lions, the Saints, the Bears. Granted, it's not the most impressive resume, but they're 4-1 for now, and they are number 4 on my overall list.
Okay, so quite a leap for Minnesota. Minnesota jumping up. 5 last week, another possible side stare from my co-host. And I get it. And I said it.
Yeah.
I understand. These are not going to be popular picks. This is why we do this. But I had the L.A. Chargers at 5 last week. And the L.A. Chargers went to Cleveland. They beat the Browns. Again, I asked the question, why would I bump them down when they went on the road and beat a pretty good Browns team?
They won the football game.
They won the game.
They did.
I'm going to keep the Chargers at 5. I think they're getting better every week.
And
they haven't had Keenan Allen the whole time.
Okay, granted, it's your list. You can do what you like to do with that. My number 5 team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are also 3-2, top their division in the NFC South. I am a believer of quarterbacks in this thing we call the NFL. Obviously, the Tampa Bay quarterback is pretty good. And I think as long as he is healthy, and yes, they got away with one there in Atlanta. Yes, there's a roughing the passer call that people are going to be talking about for the next year.
That was in Tampa.
They may actually lead to a rule change, I think, at the end of the year. It was so bad.
Brutal. Well, that and Monday Night Football. Chris Jones.
Yes.
Terrible.
That's another one. There's going to be a revisiting of the rule. But for right now, until then, and listen, it's not the first time that Tom Brady has won a football game because of rules. It is number 5 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there.
Okay,
for me.
So Tampa at 5.
For me, yes.
All right, let's do this. Let's step away.
Oh.
We'll come back and finish the hour with our 6 through 10, okay?
Good.
So that's our top 5 NFL rankings going into week 6. We're going to do this every week, and it's amazing the change in teams.
Happens fast.
I would be stunned if we actually came back a week later at any point this season and said, yep, my top 10 didn't change.
Didn't change at all.
Everybody stayed exactly the same. I would be
Same people.
stunned. So we'll come back, wrap it up 6 through 10 here on the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
You know, now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Sign up with the promo code GregP. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. You can combine all of those across a variety of platforms with same-game parlays for a bigger payout, live betting. You see a trend, something that's going on in a game, you can get updated odds on games that have already started and get you paid your winnings fast. All that on the app that's safe by using the promo code GregP. All that on the app. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Promo code GregP. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You got to be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable. Free bets that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Austin Hardy is your go-to agent in the Middle Tennessee community for the service you desire at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Austin Hardy has you covered. Call 615-810-9999 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
This is the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
Welcome, Angie McCartney.
When he'd come home, Jim would say to him, "How are your bowels, son? Are you eating properly?" He'd go, "Oh, Dad, you know, I'm a beetle. You don't ask me about my bowels." Oh, it's not that funny. Come on, get over it.
We didn't expect to be talking about Paul's pals this morning.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Back here on the McFarland Show on what's probably going to be a rainy Wednesday here soon. Darren McFarland, Justin McFarland with you. We do have an update on the Braves. They just put out a tweet. We've vetted it. It's blue check mark. It is them. It's not a fake account. And it looks like...
Weather update from the Atlanta Braves. There will be another weather call, they say, at around 5 o'clock Nashville time. So it's about an hour from now. But the current forecast suggests a starting time of 6:30 to 6:45. 6:30 to 6:45. I'm doing the conversion.
Yeah, Nashville time.
This is Nashville time. If you go look at the tweet, it may say the time be a little different. I'm converting for you. 6:30 to 6:45. We will continue to update as we hear. And again, that is from the Atlanta Braves official Twitter account, tweeting that out to the fans literally about 3 minutes ago.
So we thought our show was going to be cut short. We thought afternoon stretch wouldn't happen. Those guys are going to come on the air following us. So it looks like it's going to be probably around 6:30, 6:45 our time for Braves-Phillies game 2. All right, we have to finish out our top 10. So we gave you our top 5 NFL rankings. I've got Buffalo, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Ravens, Chargers as my top 5. We must do 6 through 10. You had... Your top 5 was?
Kansas City, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Minnesota, Tampa Bay.
Okay. Now we go to 6.
All right.
Last week, I had Eric's Dallas Cowboys at 10. They continue to impress with some guy named Cooper Rush. And it looks like he's going to just stay their starter. Dak, I guess, has maybe started throwing, but it doesn't look like he's going to be playing. I don't think, at least he's not playing this week or probably next week. But I had Dallas at 10. They continued to win. They continued to impress. I have bumped them up to number 6.
Our rankings agree on this one. I do have the Dallas Cowboys at number 6 overall. It is impressive what they've been able to do, and the defense has played lights out.
They have.
For them and really helped carry them through. So the question is, I wonder how good Cooper Rush actually is because the defense has been playing so incredibly well.
Okay, on to number 7. Last week I had Tampa Bay 9. They were dominating the Falcons. The Falcons aren't very good. Things look like they were going to pitch a shutout. And then things got weird.
Yeah.
And then there was a really, really bad call in Tampa going Tom Brady's way. And it looked like Grady Jarrett had a sack, turnover on downs. Atlanta was going to get the ball back. No, instead they call roughing the passer. Drive stays alive, and it ruins the game for the Falcons. So very controversial. But with that being said, Tampa's still good. Their defense may be the best defense in the league. It's that good. So I have bumped the Bucs. Even though it wasn't impressive, I've bumped them up to 7.
Understandable. My number 7, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens at number 7 here and I fully admit the Ravens are most likely to continue to move up my list as the season goes on, as they continue to win games. I can see them rising very quickly. But you just never know what you're going to get out of Baltimore. They are not the most dependable franchise and tandem here that you're going to see. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do moving forward. But for me, it is the Baltimore Ravens at number 7.
What does that mean? Not a dependable franchise.
Well, they will win games that, I shouldn't say that. Let me back this up. They lose games they're supposed to win. I'll say that. They lose games they are supposed to win. And that is what's surprising about them. And I'm holding my breath every single time they get on the field because you don't know what you're going to get. You see the talent. The talent is clear. But is the talent going to actually translate to good football play? Sometimes it does not.
Okay. I had the Purple People Eater, say that fast 3 times. I'm not going to. Minnesota was at 8 last week. Another win. They continue to win. They haven't exactly beat up on the who's who, but I'm not going to punish them, but I'm going to keep them at 8.
Number 8 for me is the New York Football Giants. After the impressive trip to London, where they were able to defeat Aaron Rodgers and company somehow, that has to be respected. 4-1. I don't know how, but they are. And because I can't explain how, they're number 8 on the list. Because they're 4-1, and I don't know how they're doing it, but they are. Saquon Barkley has played incredibly well. We'll see if that can keep up. But right now, they're number 8.
Neither one of us had them in our top 10 last week. But like you, just one spot down. I can't keep ignoring the New York Giants to this point. Remember, this is week to week.
Yes.
This is as of today.
Yes.
And they've earned it. They have. So they continue to win. We'll see if this continues. But Daniel Jones, and it looks like, Dayball's done a great job as the head coach. And I'm going to have the Giants at 9.
Number 9 for me is the Green Bay Packers. A disappointing loss last week, obviously, overseas in London. But anytime you have Aaron Rodgers on your football team, I think they are just a couple of seconds from turning it around. The Packers for me at number 9.
And finally, rounding out my top 10. Didn't have them on my list last week, but again, they just keep winning games. They're getting better. Their defense is good. Jimmy Garoppolo. 49ers come in at number 10.
Ditto. I, too, have the 49ers at number 10 on my list, just edging out the Titans. The Titans did not make my top 10. I debated between the 49ers and the Titans, went with the 49ers.
Yep, me too. Titans were just on the outside looking in. I bumped Miami and Green Bay out of my top 10 from last week.
That loss to the Giants meant that much, huh? I
guess
so.
Yeah. I mean, did you think they were going to lose to the Giants? I didn't.
I did not.
No, I didn't either. All right, that is going to do it for our show this Wednesday. Like I said, Braves in a delay, probably be 6:30, 6:45. So we'll turn things over to Afternoon Stretch. That's next.